name is Chef Tia Berry, and I'm here at the American Heart Association Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen with Dr. Virginia Hahn from Johns Hopkins Hospital, cardiologist. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We're going to be cooking some fabulous stir fry today. But before we start, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do at Johns Hopkins?
Sure, so I specialize in heart failure, which is a bad name, but basically a disease that affects the heart muscle.
Okay.
And I take care of patients who have such severe heart failure that they need a heart transplant or a mechanical heart pump. And I also focus on research to treat patients with heart failure.
I think it's amazing that you do that. I just want to point that out before we go further, because my grandparents, my one grandmother had a quadruple bypass.
Wow.
At Hopkins. Dr. Watkins did it from
Wow.
back in the day. And then my mom, all of my grandparents were diabetic and had hypertension. So it's important for me to eat healthy and then teach my child how to eat healthy, because heart disease does run in my family. So I thank you for being available and researching and helping people with heart failure.
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to learn from you.
Cool. So what we're going to make today is a shrimp asparagus stir fry, right? Stir fries are great because they're quick, especially in the evenings when you're trying to come home. I teach high school during the day, so sometimes when I come home, I want to be quick and done.
Totally.
I love to cook. However, I don't like being in the kitchen for hours. I want to cook and get it done and eat. So I remember as a kid, my grandma used to cook every day. She had 5 kids. She cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Right? And that's where my passion and love for food comes from, because I would be inside cooking with her while my cousins were outside. So it was great for me. I loved it.
It's such an important life skill
I agree.
For health reasons and save money in the kitchen rather than going out to eat. So
I agree. So a couple things I started before we got here. The first thing I did was, in this bowl, you have one as well, your heart-shaped bowl. We have, just to talk about the recipe a little bit, what we got ingredient-wise. In here, I did a mixture of sesame oil, soy sauce, OJ, and boiling water. What that does, this is going to be our sauce. Okay. This is pretty much the only seasoning we're going to put in here, and you'll be surprised. Outside of the garlic and ginger, you'll be surprised how much flavor this has. And it's only 2 tablespoons of OJ, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, so it's not a lot of, and we use the low sodium soy always, and 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. That's what we have in here, plus the boiling water. And what we're going to do is, that goes in last. We also have couscous. We have 2 different types of couscous, by the way. We have the Israeli couscous, which are the bigger pearled couscous, and then we have the regular couscous.
okay.
Fun fact. Most times you'll find couscous in the grain aisle, right? And it's always labeled as a grain. Cook your grains, but turns out this is really pasta, right?
Really?
It's made out of durum wheat, and it's pasta. And the process that they make it, they kind of rub it, and you either get the smaller version or you get this version, the pearl version. Either way, it's pasta, but it's still delicious. And it's low. I believe they said glycemic index. I'm not the expert on nutrition. I can just cook it. But instead of rice, this is supposed to be better for you than rice.
Okay.
Apparently. We also have asparagus. We have ginger, garlic, frozen peas, and we have portobello mushroom caps. What I want to start off with actually is, because we need to get our couscous to cook, basically. And you really don't have to cook it. The interesting thing is you put boiling water over and you let it sit, and then it absorbs the water, and then it's done.
Okay.
So it's really easy. I washed all of our produce. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our green onion, or scallions as they're called.
So what's the reason you use boiling water for the sauce?
Just to open up the oil, make it more fragrant. The juice makes everything, because oil and water really don't go together, but it's kind of making it homogeneous. You see, it's not really separated.
I see.
So with this, we're just going to cut off the root ends.
Okay.
And I tend to keep mine together when I start to cut. And the idea is we're going to cut up our green onion And I say for the green onions, we need about a half a cup. So I like the green and white. Some people only like the white, some people only like the green. You can always just cut up the white to put in the dish and use the green as a garnish.
Okay,
Makes
that's a
it look
good
pretty.
idea.
And I didn't talk about it, but how you hold your knife. I keep forgetting to tell people how to hold their
Oh,
knife.
yeah.
So when you hold your knife, you want to pinch the blade with your thumb
Okay.
and forefinger, and the remaining fingers go around the handle, and that's so that you have control over your knife. If you're cutting something like a watermelon, any type of melon, something that's hard, beets, carrots, you want to have control over your knife, and you don't want your knife wiggling around, because when it wiggles, it tends to wiggle and you wind up cutting yourself. So
Okay.
this is how you have the most control over your knife, and your knife doesn't go anywhere that your wrist doesn't guide it.
Got it.
The other thing is, you'll notice I have our cutting boards close to the edge, because you need to be able to see over top of your knife to see which way your knife is leaning, so you know which way you want to
Okay.
cut, right? And the motion is just the rocking forward. Perfect.
Yeah, I have much more control over it, holding it this way.
And I always tell people it's awkward when you first start, but once you get used to it, it's like the best way, and you'll be cutting way faster. We only need about a half a cup of green onion that we're going to add directly to our bowl with the couscous.
Okay. So how do you get inspiration for your recipes?
Inspiration usually is what I have a taste for.
Okay.
Or my kid will say, "Hey mom, I have a taste for stir fry," or "I want a turkey burger," or something. And I'm like, what goes with that? There's a book that I always tell people to get, because sometimes people don't know what flavors go with what. It's called the Flavor Bible. You can get them.
Ooh.
And what it does in this particular book, it will tell you, for example, if you have shrimp, it'll tell you, oh, the flavors that go with shrimp would be lemon, thyme, garlic. It gives you a list of all the different ingredients and spices and flavors that will make your shrimp sing. And then looking at that, you'll know, oh, this is a Asian profile, this is an
I
American
see.
profile, and based off what you're making, you can see like some things you wouldn't even think to put together. And when you look in this book, it tells you, or you may have an ingredient, green onions. Hey, what does that go good with? So you look
Okay.
up, so either way, you can look up a protein or a product, and it'll tell you what it will flavor the best, or what flavors match with it. So it's one of my favorites.
So how did you introduce your child to flavor?
To flavor, my kid's a critic, honestly. And I think it's because when I was in culinary school, they were a baby, so
Okay.
I would bring things home and they would try it, so their palate is pretty developed.
Okay, so the key is offering lots of flavorful things.
Offering a lot of flavorful things, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, but you have to try it.
Okay.
That was the deal in our house. You have to try it. You may not like it. You may think it's disgusting. You can spit it out and keep it moving, but you have to at least try it. And if you notice, I'm scraping everything over with the back of my knife.
Okay.
The idea is that when you are cooking or cutting anything, you want to make sure that your knife stays sharp. If you rub your knife against the cutting board, it makes it dull. So,
Okay.
idea we always want to have a very sharp knife.
Okay.
And now that we've added our green onions to our couscous, our next step before we get started with everything else is we want to make sure we put in a cup of boiling water into our couscous so that it can cook.
Okay.
And while that's doing its thing, cook technically, it's not cooking, but we want to make sure it blooms, basically like, and I had the water boiling already.
Okay.
So if you want, I can just go ahead and pour
Sure.
a cup in for you. It's quite hot.
So do you cook every day when you get home from work, or do
It
you?
depends. Sometimes we do a meal prep, and my kid likes to cook too, so that's
Oh,
a plus.
That's great.
So sometimes we'll come up with ideas and we'll meal prep, but we're also the group that doesn't like leftovers.
Oh, okay.
We'll make,
We have one of those in our house too.
we'll make enough for tonight and maybe leftovers for tomorrow, and then we need something else. So our meal prep days are extensive. We take
Okay.
a whole day because we're doing a couple of different things. Or what we'll do is we'll make a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 items instead of 5, enough to last the whole week. but it's better than us eating out. And anything, and I've always said, and my kid will say it too, oh, if it's edible, my mom can cook it. Why should I go out and get it if I can get it at home?
That's amazing.
So
It's such a great skill to teach your kids
I agree.
for when they leave the house.
Next, we're going to cut up our asparagus. And as we cut things up, we're just going to put them back on the cutting board and try to keep them separated. And how I have everything laid out here, it's an actual technical term for it. It's called mise en place.
Okay.
Most of your terms in the cooking culinary world are in French, right? Mise en place means everything in its place. And the reason why you want to do that when you're cooking is because, one, you want to make sure you have all your ingredients. And if you prep everything beforehand, when you start to cook, it's just a matter of dumping things in the pan.
Got it.
And you don't
Okay.
have to sit there and turn it off, cut up some more, then turn it back on and go back to cooking. It just makes cooking more efficient. Told you I like to be more efficient when I'm doing it. So for your asparagus naturally breaks where the woody ends are. So if it's not breaking, then it's probably okay.
Okay.
It just snaps. And the reason why you want to snap the ends off is because you can't chew these. It's literally like wood.
So it's better to snap them rather
better
than
to
cut
snap.
them.
It's faster to cut them, but you can snap them. I just think because I like to keep as much of the asparagus spear as I can. So these aren't really breaking. The big ones are. And then once you get to the part, and it depends on how much time you have, honestly. If you
And
have
how
lots
much
of time,
asparagus?
For me, I like to cook. So this is my retreat. This is
Okay.
my relaxing moment. Whatever's going on in life, I'm sitting here snapping peas, snapping asparagus, whatever it is that I'm cooking. This is my zen place.
Is it better to get the thin asparagus or the thick ones?
It doesn't matter as long as because all of them are going to have the woody ends. Some of these thinner ones, they're just young, so they didn't get a chance to grow really big, so they're going to be tender.
And then
And there's
are
something
we,
satisfying about doing snap peas too. I don't know why, but snapping those is great.
it is something you feel very accomplished after you cook because you
do.
can see the tangible results of your work.
So what I'm going to do now is just put these kind of together, and what you think is bite size is what we want to do.
Bite
because
size,
at the end of
okay.
the day, you don't want it so big that the person's trying to finagle eating it.
Okay. So what kind of cuisine did you learn in culinary school? Everything? Okay.
Culinary schools typically teach you classic French, but the process or the mechanics of cooking is the same regardless. So, but definitely they teach you French cuisine with all the heavy butters and creams. and
Yeah.
not necessarily the healthiest.
Do you have favorite family recipes?
I would say it's not healthy though.
That's
But
okay.
My favorite recipe would be my grandmother's banana pudding. And then I turned that, because I kept making it, and I turned it into a banana pudding cake. Bananas
Ooh,
Foster's
nice.
pudding cake. That's what I make. And it's usually pretty good. But it's not something you can have every day. We're gonna start now with the the ginger. Why do I keep calling this garlic? I don't know. So with ginger, it comes with this papery outer skin. You can always use a knife, but it's just as easy to take your spoon and just peel it.
Okay. I've never
Depending
done
on what you
ginger
want to
like
use your
this.
garlic for, again, I try to keep as much of my product as possible. And to me, when you peel it, you cut too far into
Yes.
the garlic.
Yes,
So
that's true.
this way, I get to keep most of it.
I think, food is so tied to culture and tradition and family that we gotta try and adapt family recipes.
And things change. Like you have a lot of places out there now that are fusion. So it's Asian mixed with American, and you're making the American style food healthier by sometimes fusing it with other things, because you can lighten it up by adding a lot of flavor, but without doing all the heavy oils and all the heavy salt. So you can flavor things differently, which is why I like to mix things up. So with our ginger, we're gonna mince it. The best way for me to mince it is to first cut slices.
Okay.
And we only need about 2 teaspoons.
So do you ever actually measure your ginger, or you just eyeball it?
Because I've been doing it for a while, I can eyeball it. However, cooking savory, you can add, subtract things.
Okay.
If you really like ginger, you can do more than 2 teaspoons. If you're
Okay.
not a big fan, you can do less, depending on what you like. So for those type of things, I don't. I
Okay.
kind of eyeball it, and I know about what I like and what I don't, and how I want it to taste. But I would say starting off, definitely use your measuring spoons. And the more you cook, the more you'll have an idea of, oh, this is about a teaspoon. And I learned how to measure stuff in my hand. So if I knew I wanted a teaspoon, I
okay.
know how I hold my hand. This is a teaspoon, and every time it comes out perfect. So
You're right. Cooking savory is forgiving. Baking is not, which
Baking
is
is
why I don't
definitely a
like
science.
baking.
and I went to school for both, actually, because
Wow.
I'm the nerd girl also. So I wanted to, when I was in culinary school, I learned baking, I learned pastry, and I learned savory cooking, as well as how to run the business from the time it comes in the door until the time it goes out. So I always think it's important to do that. Let me just go mince it.
Your mincing is
But it
finer than mine.
It doesn't have to be. Again, it's how you like it, but I will say this, if the ginger is not cut up small enough, it can be a little strong.
Yes, and people don't want to get a giant bite of ginger.
Same thing with garlic. It's one of those things where raw, it can be very potent, like almost burn your tongue, but once you cook it, it gets sweet. Sweeter, not like sweet like sugar, but a milder taste, we'll say. We got that, we got our ginger, and then garlic. And I told you I teach high school, right? One of the things I found that was very surprising is that kids don't know the difference between a clove of garlic and a bulb of garlic.
Oh, wow.
So this is definitely a bulb of garlic. This is a clove. And the reason why I say that is that we had a recipe, and this is towards the end of the semester, and I said, you need 3 cloves of garlic. And they chopped up 3 bulbs of garlic. And I was like, you're trying to. We're all going to be smelling nice and garlicky today.
I love garlic, so I would have been
I
fine
do
with it.
too. So with this, to get the papery outer, another thing that I always do with my kid, can tell you what I used to do, to peel it the easiest way, and it keeps if you have young kids, entertained, get 2 bowls.
Okay.
Bowls, metal bowls, any kind of bowl, something in your mind. If it drops, it's okay. But have them put these in 2 bowls and walk around and shake it. It makes a lot of noise, and then when they're done, it's peeled.
Oh,
Or you have them put it in have them put it in a jar, like a mason jar, and walk around and just shake it, and then when you pour it out, the clove is separated from the skin.
Wow.
But for us,
Yeah.
because we don't
Smash it.
just smash it. And then once you smash it, you can just kind of remove the skin out of the way. It also makes it easier for you to mince it
Yes.
once it's smashed. And once it's smashed, we're just going to go ahead and mince it up.
So do you ever buy the canned garlic that's already minced?
To be honest, I do.
You
However,
do? Okay.
it has to be in water. I don't get the ones in oil.
Okay.
And for me, because it's not minced up fine enough, I usually wind up take it out and mince it some more.
It
I
can
also
be a
don't-
time saver, though.
It can be. Definitely a time saver, so I would not tell you that I don't use it. I also have bought peeled garlic cloves. Just because it's something, again, satisfying about cooking and chopping and preparing
Yes.
food for me.
It is. It's very meditative. And it's also quality time as a family if you're in the kitchen.
Especially if you're doing it as a family. And I really like when me and my kid get in the kitchen and we make things and we kind of split our time. Hey, you take care of this and I'll do this over here. So yeah, I love it. And again, you want to mince your garlic up as small as you would like for it to be.
Okay.
And then our last thing that we're going to do is going to be our portobello mushroom.
So the worst part for me with mushrooms is cleaning them.
Yes, ill, right? So what we're going to do, and the reason why we clean these, you can eat this. These are called the gills of the mushroom. You can eat them, but when we start to cook, any type of liquid we have in there, it's going to turn brown and muddy and not look appetizing.
Okay.
So that's really the reason why we clean portobello mushrooms. Other mushrooms we really don't clean. We just chop them up and keep it moving. But these for sure will turn your product, your end product, murky.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is scrape this out. I probably should have found something for this, but we're just going to scrape the gills out, and you just need a spoon.
How do you clean do you wipe the mushroom with a cloth, or how do you wash
I use
it?
a brush
Okay.
or a cloth. You can wash them, and I know people are diehard, want to wash them, but the texture of the mushroom changes. Mushrooms are like sponges. They will soak up all the moisture, and they get a little, in my opinion, slimy, which I definitely don't like. And that's a personal preference. But you can definitely put them over in the sink like with other produce and just wash it off.
And what about using other types of mushrooms?
Like the baby bellas or the
Yeah,
white
or
mushroom. You can use
shiitake.
That's fine. Whatever mushroom you like. Mushrooms are here now in the, what do you call it? I guess in the media about being so healthy for you, the different varieties of mushrooms, lion's mane. So I guess there are health benefits for you. So any mushroom that you may like would be perfect. Sorry. I just needed some space. And I probably could have pushed it off to the side. It's okay, I did too. Cooking in the kitchen can be messy.
Yeah.
And with this, we're just gonna slice it. And I took out the little stem, and I'm just gonna slice these. And again, slice them how big you would want them to be in your finished product.
Okay.
And because these are kind of small, I don't want them to be so, because this is a big mushroom cap. So I'm gonna slice it first, and then I'll probably cut them in half or maybe in threes, just so they're smaller,
So
but
when
still
you
recognizable.
when you meal prep for the week, do you try to make things where you can
Similar
use the same ingredients?
Yeah. So if it's maybe this week is chicken and fish or chicken and shrimp, and also something that will reheat well. Because everything doesn't reheat well. In theory, it's great. Oh my gosh, this would be great. But then when you go to heat it back up, and the texture of it is awful, and so you don't want to eat it, and then you wasted food. So those are the things I look at. First of all, is it something else I can make with this? Because if you get the family size, you need to be
you don't
able
want to
to
waste it.
Right, you don't want to waste it. But the other thing you could do is use what you need and then put the rest of it in the freezer.
Ah, okay.
And because it's just me and my kid. So when I do get the family pack, we can only eat so much. And if we're not meal prepping, I'll take, if it's the family pack of chicken breasts, I'll take them out, wrap them individually,
Got it.
and then put them in a big Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer.
That's a good idea.
To keep them from not getting freezer burn, basically. So, and I'm saving these just for garnish. If you
Okay.
have some, and you don't have to, but I just like to put these on at the end to make it look really pretty. So we're about ready to start cooking.
All
right?
right.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cook our mushrooms, just in order so you know what we're doing. We're going to cook the mushrooms after they start to cook a little bit and as done as we want them. And again, that's a preference. Some people like their mushrooms really cooked. Some people don't want them just a little bit. But at least 2 minutes to cook the mushrooms, at least 3 minutes. We're going to add the asparagus, let that cook, and then we'll add the peas last.
Got it. And then the garlic and ginger.
We're going to take the veggies out the pan, and then we're going to add the garlic, ginger, and then we'll cook the shrimp separate. And then we'll put it all back together. Sounds like a plan?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're going to head back to our cooking stations, and it should be, I like to cook with gas. It's this one. All right. In stir frying, you cook at a high heat, but if it is uncomfortable, you don't have to cook it at such a high heat. This is olive oil. You can use canola oil. You can use grapeseed oil, whatever oil you want that's unsaturated. Yeah, unsaturated oil is what we're looking for. Unsaturated fat, I guess should have finished the statement. We're gonna let this heat up first. And how you can tell your oil is heated, and I would say pull some of your oil out. We only need a little bit, because these are non-stick.
Got it.
So just put a little bit back in the cup, because we'll use it for the shrimp.
Got it, okay.
When you first put the oil in, it doesn't really move that much. But as it heats up, the viscosity of it gets thinner, so it moves easier. And then depending on how much oil you have in there, you start to see like a little shimmer go across the top, and then you know your oil is hot enough. What my grandmother used to do, which you do not want to do, is throw water in there. Because water, again, we talked about water and oil not mixing. It'll pop and you'll get burned. Who wants to get burned? So
I definitely have used that trick though to check.
The other thing you can do if you are not sure if it's hot enough is always just put something in there. If it starts to simmer,
then you know
it's ready. And you can always tell because you see it doing its little thing.
You're really great at teaching people to cook. I can see why you were teaching high school kids.
Yeah. And if you see it start to shimmer or to sizzle, I think mine is good enough because it's starting to just lay it down and see if it starts to cook on the sides.
Yep.
And there you go, and you can put the rest of them in.
What do you like to use to stir? You like the tongs?
I like tongs or a spatula. Typically in these types of pans, you always want to use something that has, what is this? Silicone, there you go. You need to have silicone on there because if not, it will scratch up your pan.
I see.
And these pans, once that coating comes off, it comes into your food. So you don't want that either. So try to make sure you don't scratch these up. These type of pans, the non-stick pans, they're great because you don't have to use as much oil. Yours is really going.
Mine might be higher.
Which is fine. Okay. You want it high. That's the idea, is to have it high.
Yeah, we have the same rule in our house about you say you have to taste everything.
You have to
taste it. If you don't want to eat it, that's fine.
And that's always been our rule. So even if it looks weird, if it's, I don't know about this one, it looks suspect, my kid will try it. And no, I don't want that. This is my kid's famous thing. It's like, you act like somebody's mom.
It is funny, my toddler now started picking out anything green. He notices it. Meanwhile, he'll eat all sorts of non-food things.
He probably had one thing that was green that he didn't like. And then now everything green is ill. And I think my kid went through stages.
Totally. Yeah, my older two, my older one is a foodie. She loves to eat. And she, like her father, every meal has to be an experience.
Okay.
There's no like eating just to survive.
Does your kid critique your food?
No, we have another rule in our house, which is if you did not cook it, you are not allowed to critique it. So I told them, it motivates them to cook because then you get to critique it.
Well, I need to make that a rule in my house. I get a critique whether I ask for it or not.
Well, usually the critique is, did they eat a lot of it or not?
No, I get the flavors. I get the breakdown, the flavors.
Well, maybe your child's going to be a food critic.
I doubt it. They want to be a scientist, actually.
Oh, great. Well, you know
what? They want to save the planet.
Scientists have to be very critical. So I think critiquing it's not a bad thing.
I don't think so. But definitely my kid wants to save the planet.
That's great.
I said good because we have nowhere else to live. That would be awesome.
Well, healthy eating is also good for the planet because more fruits and vegetables and less processed food and meats. Mine are getting nice and brown.
They are. Yours are going really nicely. Mine are starting to get there. And when you feel like it's time, you can go ahead and add your
Asparagus. Okay.
One of the things I also like to do with portobello mushrooms is I like to use it as a burger. You ever try that?
That's a great
And put it on the
vegetarian
grill.
option.
I didn't think I would like it because the first time it was offered to me, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because I'm a burger queen. I used to love cheeseburgers. Not as much as I like them, but I don't eat them like I used to. That was my go-to meal. Now, sometimes I'll just go and get a mushroom for me and my kid. And they usually come in packs of 2, sometimes 3, and make us mushroom burgers.
Sometimes I like those better than the fake meat burgers.
I don't like the fake meat.
Yeah.
And I know it's made out of vegetables, but I'd rather I want to identify what I'm eating.
Yes,
That's just me.
totally. That makes a lot of sense.
The tofurkey or whatever, I don't know what that is.
Right, right.
Or you're making soy look like hot dogs.
Right.
That's something, I don't like that.
It's better to just eat the tofu and know what you're
Right,
eating.
exactly. I'd rather have tofu and season it how I want to season it. And if you feel like your pan is maybe a little dry, you need a little more oil, we have extra.
Okay. I'm going to add a little more.
And these should cook about 3 minutes.
So I notice you're not salting them yet.
Right. Believe it or
Okay.
not, the only seasoning and it'll be amazing, but the only seasoning that we're going to use is that blend of the water, orange juice,
Wow.
soy sauce, and sesame oil. That's the only seasoning we need, and it's going to be quite tasty.
Yeah, my patients have to be very careful about salt, which is hard.
It
But
is hard.
Cooking at home is always better.
But at least if you're cooking it at home, when you go out or you buy packages, you don't know how much salt is in it.
Right.
So if you're at home, you can say, oh, I put in this much salt, and you know what you're doing. You can and your body does need salt.
Right.
Because I'll have people who say, oh, I don't put salt in there because I can't have salt. Your body needs salt to function.
Right.
But as a society, we eat way too much.
Right.
So the idea is to limit how much you have, not to eliminate it altogether.
Honestly, just cooking at home and cutting out processed and
Is
restaurant
helpful,
food,
yes.
that gets you 90% of the way there.
And honestly, some of the things that, like the bags of stir fry, you're doing the same thing. So you're
Right.
not doing anything different than you just getting the ingredients and making it yourself. So I personally would rather just make it myself. I know some people aren't comfortable being in the kitchen, which is different than not wanting to do it and not knowing how to do it.
Right.
Not being comfortable. It's just getting that comfort level. I'm gonna start adding my peas because this is just about where I need it to be.
So what is
And
the
this is going because these were frozen, it's gonna drop the temperature down.
Okay. So the kids that you teach in high school or that you taught, what is the goal at the end that they're
The goal at the end is to have them certified. They can either go work in a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
They're
Okay.
certified safe food handlers.
So you're teaching culinary, not just how to take care of yourself in your own house.
I'm teaching them how to run a
I
business.
see. Wow.
Which is different than the home ec days, because I took home ec
Absolutely.
back in my day when I was in school.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little bit different than that. Because we're actually teaching these kids how to run a business. So we get them a Serve Safe certification, which means that if they do want to go work in a restaurant, they'll get paid more than their
Oh, wow.
counterparts because
Okay.
they're certified to be in the restaurant and keep the food safe when the person in charge is not there. They can
Got
be that
it.
person in charge. And yeah, we teach them the aspects of how to order food, how
Wow.
to keep it safe, how to cook it, how to cook for a group, how do you price it. So it's all the mechanics and info about managing either your own business or a restaurant. what I'm going to do is put this back on here,
Okay.
just because it's the easiest way, and then we're going to dump it back into the pan.
Okay.
Just be mindful when you go to pick it up, it may be a little bit hot, the pan that we're dumping
Oh,
this
got
on.
it. Okay. These pans are heavy too.
They are.
You must be strong.
Believe it or not, I did work in restaurants, and that was sometimes I would have the pans and I would have 4 going at a time.
Wow.
But I'm not as strong as I used to be because I don't do it every day.
Right.
You know? So, next, do you have any oil left?
I have a little, maybe a teaspoon.
No, we're going to need
Less, maybe.
You probably have that's enough. You need about a teaspoon. I think I'm going to need a little bit more.
Okay.
Let me grab that right quick. And I'm just using, today we're using olive oil, but I think I mentioned that we can use olive oil, you can use grapeseed oil, as long as it's a non-saturated fat oil. And usually you can tell the non-saturated fats is because they move.
Okay. They're liquid at
They're
room
liquid.
temperature.
Margarine, butter, they are saturated. So you don't necessarily want those. While they may be tasty, they're not good for your heart.
Right.
All right, so we're going to start off with our ginger first.
Do you think I need more oil?
You need more?
Do you think? Maybe.
Maybe, a little. Just grab that right quick.
Oh, I put my garlic
That's
in.
fine.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm going to add mine too. The idea is that you don't want to burn your garlic. That's the biggest thing.
Burned garlic is terrible.
If you feel like it's cooking too fast, then go ahead and start adding your shrimp. Or you
Okay.
can turn it down.
I always have the problem that when I'm cooking, I'm trying to do too much at once, and then I forget that I've got something and it burns. I don't know how chefs do it in the restaurant because you're
Well, one of
managing
the
so
things
much.
we do is, like I said, we do the mise en place. We make sure we have everything cut up.
Got it. So do you stir these or you?
I just
Flip
right now,
'em.
I like to cook them on one side, and then I
Okay.
kind of flip them over. The idea is what I don't like is rubbery shrimp. And a lot
Yeah.
of times you go places and the shrimp are overcooked, not tasty. So I usually let it cook on one side, and just kind of keep it moving around.
Okay.
And as they get pink, you can flip them.
Shrimp is something hard to reheat.
It is, because sometimes when you go to reheat it, it gets a little rubbery. But it smells really good in here.
It does smell good.
Between the ginger and the garlic alone. And believe it or not, shrimp take about 2 to 3 minutes per side. They don't take long to cook.
Okay.
And then you have to think about this also. What we're going to do is we're going to add our sauce in a minute. It's going to continue to cook. So we don't have to necessarily cook these until it's all the way done. 'Cause it's going to
Okay.
continue to cook. But I do want to get some nice color on it.
Okay. Mine are looking pretty good.
They're looking really good.
You think I'm ready for yours?
Absolutely.
You think I'm ready?
I do.
Okay.
So you have your sauce. I would say maybe stir it up a little because the things may have settled
Okay.
to the bottom.
And did you use orange juice from the carton or you squeeze the orange juice?
Squeezing would be ideal.
Okay.
However, I just got a small orange juice, 100% orange juice,
Okay.
without any extra added anything, just plain old orange juice.
Sometimes you need to just do what's easy and fast.
And for me, I could buy an orange and get 2 tablespoons, because all you need is 2 tablespoons of juice.
Okay.
So that would be ideal if you're not a family that drinks orange juice or has any other use for orange juice. That would be ideal, is to buy an orange.
Should I add my veggies?
You
What do
sure can.
think?
You can add
Okay.
your veggies back.
That smells amazing.
Now, I will say that this won't be thick, because we didn't add cornstarch. And if you
Okay.
wanted your sauce to be a little bit thicker, You can add cornstarch to this, a cornstarch slurry.
Okay.
And it wouldn't change the nutritional value. It shouldn't hurt anything, I don't think. But that will give you a thicker sauce.
Do you add it at the end or
You would add it before you put it in. So you would add
Got
it
it.
to your,
to the sauce
the
bowl
sauce.
and then stir it?
yes.
Okay.
So that when, what is it? Cornstarch only activates when it's boiling. So if this was,
okay.
if you just put it in there and maybe put it in after, your sauce will never thicken. Your,
Got it.
whatever it is, the liquid has to boil in order for it to thicken whatever it is that you're thickening. So if it never comes to a boil, then it won't thicken.
I wish they could smell it
I
on the
know, right?
video. It smells amazing.
I think so. And honestly, this is it. And then we're going to have our couscous. We're going to plate this up, show
Okay.
people what it looks like. I keep moving in front of the thing so you can't see. You just kind of want to let all those flavors fall in love with each other. Have a happy life.
I'm going to take this recipe from you.
Definitely.
Really
And we're going to
good.
post it on the website too, so people can
Okay.
have access to it. It's pretty simple and easy, and it's with ingredients that you can find. You know, sometimes you'll get a
Yes.
recipe and it's like you have to get something. It's like, where am I supposed to get
Yeah,
that?
no, we can't be going to several grocery
Right.
stores.
You want to go to your local grocery store and be able to get everything, and this is pretty much everything you can find.
Mm-hmm.
The frozen peas, asparagus, and asparagus is in season. That's the other thing
Ah,
I try to do is cook what's in season. You ask, how
Right.
do I choose what I'm going to cook?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what's in season, what's in the grocery stores right now. Because when you try to cook things out of season, it's not going to taste as good, in my opinion,
No, that's absolutely right.
because it's not ripe. Tomatoes are best in the summer. However, sometimes you want a tomato in your salad
Right.
in the wintertime. When you get those types of things, they're not coming from here. I try to get stuff that's locally grown too, just because I think it tastes better.
Do you ever go to a farmer's market?
Yes, every Sunday.
Nice.
I love it, and we spend all day. We
Oh,
start off,
that's
and we
lovely.
just walk around. The one on Sundays,
Uh-huh.
we go to that one, and we spend a lot of time there. We just walk around, and usually I see people with carts. I'm not
That's
that bad
smart.
yet.
No, you need to get one.
I'm
That's
not that
really
bad
smart.
yet, but I see people with their carts, and they have flowers, they have everything. They have performers. It's great. I love it. So what I'm going to do, I turned my heat off because I
Okay.
think it's done, but I just kind of want to stir my couscous up.
Okay.
And the only flavor that's in here are onions.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Well, yours came as a packet, so
Right.
you'll notice that ours look a little bit different,
Right.
right? This is Israeli couscous, and yours is just regular couscous.
Got
Both
it,
of them are
okay.
still pasta, and they both still taste delicious. So, but you'll notice how yours is not watery and mine is. I'll just
Right.
scoop mine out.
Okay.
And yours you can just put on a plate, which is
Okay.
better. It's what you prefer, you know?
Okay.
So, first thing I'm going to do is put some of my couscous down. And this is taking the place of rice, if I didn't
Okay.
say that. So instead of having rice, this is an alternative. Sometimes you just get tired of eating rice. You want something different. This is a great alternative to just having only rice. And sometimes at home, one of the kids asked me, do I plate at home? And I was
Right.
like, yeah,
You do?
I do. Because if I don't, like if I were to do this at home,
Uh-huh.
my kid would be looking at me like, where's the presentation?
Really? Wow.
So at home, I would probably put this in one of these little ramekins and make a mound in the middle.
Wow. That is impressive. We do not plate, but we never learned. We never learned the presentation.
So it's funny now that if I make a meal, my kid critiques everything, like presentation, plating, all of that. So when they cook, I do the same.
Love it. And you do catering too, I heard.
I do.
Okay.
All right, yours looks delicious. They
Bring
both
this
do.
here
Or
or
you can do either.
Okay.
It's a wooden table, so whatever
Ah,
works for you.
okay.
We don't have to worry about it burning up anything.
Okay. So bring this here.
Yeah.
And just set it right on the counter?
Yep, set it right on the countertop. To me, this is just easier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was at home, because, well, it's just the two of us, but if I had guests over, I would like portion out the shrimp, because you know how sometimes people go in and they take all the shrimp and leave the veggies.
Yeah.
You kind of want to make it look uniform at least.
Okay. So put the shrimp first. No, put the
I
veggies
do the shrimp
first.
last. I put the veggies and then I kind of dole out the shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have a spoon, you would definitely want to get some of that sauce.
Yes.
And what I really like is that it's colorful.
Mm-hmm. Colorful things are usually healthy if they're naturally colorful.
If they're naturally, and people tend to eat with their eyes first. That's one of the things that we learned in culinary school. So if it doesn't look appetizing, people are more than likely not going to want it. Then I put little green onions on the top.
So how many shrimp did you put?
2, 4, 6, should be
Okay.
7. Also, the other thing in culinary that not anybody cares about, it should always be odd numbers.
Really?
Feng shui, yes.
Wow.
Odd numbers.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, that makes it more appetizing looking.
All right, let me see yours. Yours is beautiful.
So is yours. I definitely love the regular couscous too.
Mm-hmm.
I make that probably more than I make this one.
Yeah,
So,
they're both
and
good.
couscous is readily available. Sometimes you'll find them already in a mix. If you can, try to get the ones that don't have the seasoning, or they'll have the seasoning
Okay.
packet that's separate.
Okay.
Because with those, you'll find that they're too salty sometimes, or they
Okay.
taste saltier than what you wanted them to, and you can't really add anything else that
Got it,
has salt
okay.
because it'll be too salty. So definitely make sure you get, and you can buy either of them without seasonings,
Okay.
which is what I prefer because I like to add my own. So you want to try? You ready to try?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, we are back. Are you ready to dig in?
It smells amazing.
I'm
Yes.
excited. All right, tell me what you think. Get a little bit of everything and the shrimp.
I can't believe that's 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That has so much flavor. And you can, the orange, it's very subtle.
Gives it a little sweetness to it. Without adding the sugar, because a lot of your Asian sauces will add sugar, brown sugar, or regular sugar for the sweetness. And this, the orange juice does perfectly.
Everything.
Yep.
Oh, and the umami from the sesame
mushroom.
oil and the
And
mushrooms.
It's delicious. I wish you guys could taste it.
I know. It smells amazing.
And this is one of the dishes that my kid likes too.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's also a way for you to sneak veggies in. So
My kids will love this.
that's good. I'm going to eat all of this. My kid may get some. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is so lovely. I always learn from cooking with a chef. So
Thank you. I'm so glad you came, and this is great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being
Likewise.
here, talking to you. And please continue to save lives. We appreciate it.
You too.
Thank you so much again.
All
I
right.
appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Do.